And I always tell people, don't automatically assume that introversion means socially anxious, because social anxiety, that's a diagnosable disorder that you go to the doctor and you get help about, right? Introversion is not a diagnosable disorder. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not a disease. It's not a problem. It's just a preference. That's why I always want to make sure I separate the two. That introversion is not necessarily it's not a diagnosable thing. I want to make sure that's clear as day.
Hey there, Vibers. Welcome to the Vibe with Kai podcast, where we keep it real, we keep it relatable, and we keep it a little bit funny as we dive into all things mental health, ADHD, and introversion. My name is Kai. I'm your host, and each week we're going to tackle life struggles with honesty, humor, and a whole lot of heart. So whether you're here for practical advice or a little validation or just a laugh about what life is like as an adult in today's world, listen, you are in the right place. We are not about toxic positivity here. We are all about being genuine to each other and to ourselves. And we're talking about real things. And we want to encourage each other and remind you that you are not alone. With that said, my friends, sit back, relax, and let's vibe through this together and enjoy today's episode of the Vibe with Kai podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode. It's going to be a kind of a quick one today, mainly because I have so much going on today. I have so much going on, and I'm leaving for a little work/vacation thing that's happening this week. So I wanna talk to y'all about that. But the main topic of today's conversation, we're gonna be talking all about how people see me out and about sometimes, and they're like, "Well, you don't act like an introvert." What? What do you? What do you mean? They see me like socializing, or they see me hanging out with people, or they see me like, the reason I bring this up is because I was at my sister's graduation party this past weekend, and I posted some, videos of me dancing and singing with my family and some friends and stuff like that. And I can't tell you how many comments I got on my Instagram story being like, "That's very extroverted of you." No, it's not extroversion. I'm still an introvert. It's all about energy, my friend. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But before we get into that, here are three quick things. Number one, my little work vacation this week. I am headed off to Florida this evening. Now, right now, the time is 12:37 p.m. And I'm packing because I'm leaving today. And I'm going to Marco Island, Florida, all the way until Sunday. And it's like a week-long little vacay. And the reason I'm going is because it's a work trip, right? We have like this big conference that we're doing this week. But I like kind of extended it a little bit. I'm like, well, I'm on vacation, or not that I'm on vacation, but I'm like, I'm in Florida. I'm in the beautiful tropical area of Marco Island at this beautiful resort. Why don't I just make it a thing? So I made it a thing. I feel like I deserved it. I earned this. Dang it! I earned this little vacay. So I'm gonna enjoy it. So I'm gonna be working very hard Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But then Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, strictly relaxation. That's the goal. Relaxation. On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Super excited for that. My girlfriend is coming down to hang out with me on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at this little tropical extravaganza. Super excited for that. And the reason I bring this up is because I want you all to just make sure that you take time to do stuff like this. Make sure you take time to relax. Make sure you take time to chill. We all work so dang hard. You got to find some time for you. I know it's difficult sometimes because you got a lot going on. You got work, you got family, you got responsibilities, you got to pay bills. Boo. You got to do all that. But it's important for you to invest the time and the energy into making sure that you are taking care of yourself. You earned it. You're working so dang hard. Spoil yourself a little bit. You earned it. Treat yourself. as they say. Treat yourself. Go do it. That's what I'm doing, and I'm gonna enjoy it. And then obviously it's right back to work on Monday. But like, I mean, I get a little vacay. I get a little escape, and I'm gonna enjoy that. And you should find little moments like that to do that for yourself as well. So that's thing number one. Thing number two, I want to continue with the travel theme here. Traveling. I travel a lot. I travel a lot. And I travel so much that I'm at a point now on Instagram where I'm able to uh post hotel reviews. So what I do is I post like these initial reactions of my thoughts on the hotel room. And I feel like I have like a little expertise in it now because I travel so much. Like just in the past couple of months, I've been to Atlanta and Los Angeles, Baltimore, Florida, Wichita, New York, Philly. Where else? Where else have I been? I went somewhere else. I know I'm missing something. Um, Miami, like all these places. I've been traveling a lot, dang it. And I'm like, I'm gonna use my insight here to tell people how I feel about some initial reaction. I've slowly like my social media platforms have slowly become either one of these things. Number one, you're either following me because I post about cheese all the time because my platform is like a safe space for people that like cheese. Right. Number two, you're following me because you like my ADHD content or my introversion content, right? Which is fine. Welcome. I love you. Thank you for being here. Number three, you follow me because you see me talking about Massachusetts all the time and how to pronounce their cities and their towns and their villages in that area. Or you follow me because old school Gilmore Girls fandom. If you know, you know, kind of thing. Or you happen to follow me because I post about these trips, these introvert trips to various places around the world. And I do that not just to showcase, the hotel rooms that I stay in, but I showcase that because I want people to understand that introverts travel too. Introversion isn't just about staying inside or not talking to people. We're going to talk about that in the main topic of the podcast today. But I wanted to like make sure that people understand introverts. It's okay to travel. You can travel by yourself if you feel comfortable, or if you want to travel with friends or family, whatever it may be. That's normal. We're going to talk. I'm not going to get too into that right now because we're going to talk about that in a second. But that was thing number two. Thing number three, Kendrick Lamar dropped his new album GNX, which I love. I'm a big Kendrick fan, man. I always have been, even before the whole Kendrick Drake back and forth went down. I wouldn't even call it a back and forth. The Drake was just kind of like, hey, stop it. um, but I've always been a big Kendrick fan. I mean, Pimp a Butterfly is one of the best albums of all time. So when he surprisingly dropped a new album this past week, I was like, say less, let's go. And I listened to it. The album is fantastic. I know not a lot of people that follow me listen to hip hop and rap, and that's okay. I know there's a small percentage of people that do that follow me, but I'm a big hip hop R&B fan. Kendrick's album, fantastic album. The song that he has with SZA called Luther, oh my goodness. I probably listened to that song 55 million times. I think it has like 100 million streams. I'm pretty sure I'm responsible for like 99 million of those streams. That song is so good. It's so good. Oh, so I know you might not be into hip hop, but I am. And if you are somebody that's into hip hop and you haven't heard Kendrick's new album yet, make sure you go check that out because it's pretty dang good, at least in my opinion. Anyway, also shout out if you're watching right now, not listening, you can see I'm wearing my best friend's hoodie here. This hoodie is from my best friend Hops, Lady Hops, on Instagram and TikTok. Go visit her profile if you're interested in learning more about this hoodie. On the back it says "dead but caffeinated," I think is what it says. Well, it's one of my favorite hoodies, and it's so comfortable. So if you want something like this, go check out at Lady Hops on TikTok or Instagram. Check out this hoodie. It's really cool. All right. Let's get into the topic today. I can't tell you how many people I know. My cat, did you hear my cat? My cat's super excited for me to tell this story. Hey, bud, I have to do this right now. So you're going to have to go away. Okay. My cats, they only bother me when I'm recording. I've been sitting here in silence working all day and they leave me alone. But the minute that I start talking to all of you, they're like, hey, I want some attention. Tell everybody I said hi. It's okay. That's why I love my boys. I love my boys. I have two cats, Hamilton and Burr. If you know, you know. Anyway, I had my sister's graduation party this past weekend, and I posted a lot of Instagram stories of me partying with my family, and there was a DJ there, so I'm singing and I'm dancing, playing a lot of hip hop, a lot of R&B, a lot of old school '90s, R&B, a lot of stuff like that. And I'm singing, I'm dancing. Tevin Campbell comes on. Can we talk for a minute? Neo comes on. Miss Independent. Like all these songs come on. We're vibing. We're grooving. And I can't tell you how many people in my DMs were like, "That's mighty extrovert of you, sir." Why? Why is that extrovert? Because you're out talking to people and partying. And I'm like, and I got so many of those messages. I'm like, okay, I explain this all the time, but I'm going to have to explain this again because I don't think people fully understand what an introvert is. Because I think sometimes people just think that introversion just automatically means shy or socially anxious or that they don't leave the house ever. And that's not the case. It's not the case. Let's talk about introversion for a second. First of all, let's just define introversion. Let's explain what introversion actually means, right? Introversion is just about how you recharge your energy. It's not a measure of how outgoing or how shy you are, right? Introverts, we recharge in solitude, our quiet settings, our intimate settings, our small groups, whereas extroverts, they recharge through social interactions, right? So when I'm out hanging with my family or friends and I'm in a social area or I'm socializing and hanging out and stuff like that, is my battery being drained? Yes, of course. Of course it is, right? But like I'm okay with it. It doesn't make me anxious to be around family or friends or, when an introvert is in a very comfortable situation, you wouldn't think that they're a quote introvert because you would think that they're being an extrovert. Like, no, they're being an introvert. They're just very comfortable. Introversion is just simply how you prefer to manage your energy. That's it. That's all it is. And I always tell people, don't automatically assume that introversion means socially anxious because social anxiety, that's a diagnosable disorder that you go to the doctor and you get help about, right? Introversion is not a diagnosable disorder. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not a disease. It's not a problem. It's just a preference. That's why I always want to make sure I separate the two. That introversion is not necessarily it's not a diagnosable thing. I want to make sure that's clear as day, right? There's a lot of misconceptions that put introversion in the same realm as shyness and social anxiety and or the dislike of people, right? Let me tell you, introverts, we can enjoy social interactions. We prefer smaller, meaningful gatherings over large, high energy events, but like we do it. It's okay. It's just that maybe our battery drains a little fast, and when it does, we bounce. That's it. That's all it is. The most common metaphor that people use for this is the social battery metaphor, right? The social battery for introverts, social interactions drain the battery faster, requiring downtime to recharge. Extroverts might find social interactions recharge their battery instead, right? That's the best way to look at it. Introversion is just simply how you prefer to recharge your battery. You know what I'm saying? So when I was with family this past weekend, I was having a blast. And when my energy died, I went back to my hotel room, but I wasn't shy. I do a lot of speaking engagements, right? I perform, I sing, I act, I dance, and people are sometimes like, "You're an extrovert." No, I'm an introvert because I like being in front of people. um, it doesn't make me, that doesn't scare me. It doesn't. I don't mind it. I don't mind doing presentations. I don't mind performing. I don't mind doing any of that. I don't mind talking to all of you. I don't mind going live on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. I like doing that stuff. I like the social interactions. It drains my battery, but like I enjoy it. I'm not scared of it. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I put so much out about my introversion, because I just want people to understand, you know, what it's like to be an introvert. I want people to understand that like there's a lot more depth to introversion than you may realize. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much more to it. I like oh man, I can't tell you how many times I'll be like, yeah, I'm an introvert, and people will be like, well, you don't seem shy. I'm like, I'm not. I'm not shy. I'm definitely not. Right? Um, and now if you're an introvert that has learned to embrace their introversion, your life becomes a lot easier because you learn how to manage your energy in a healthy way, right? Uh, Introverts that have embraced their introversion, we often plan our social lives around conserving and managing energy, right? For example, when I'm enjoying a lively event, I schedule downtime before or and after the recharge, right? If I know that I'm going to an event where I'm going to have to do a lot of socializing or there's going to be a lot of people there, I prep for that mentally and physically. I prep for it. So by the time I get there, my battery is fully charged. And then on top of that, I also do two things. Number one, I always find a little place to escape for a couple minutes, right? I might go like sit in my car for like 5-10 minutes, kind of do like a quick recharge kind of thing, or and I'll know exactly how and when I'm going to leave. I know exactly at what point I'm ready to bounce, and then I do that. I leave, protect my energy, to protect my mental health. You should do the same, introverts. You should do the same. You know, it's also all of this is also it's about setting boundaries, right? Introversion is about setting boundaries. You got to set boundaries if you want to maintain good mental health, good mental well-being. You got to choose when and where to socialize. That is an act of self-care. It's not a sign of being antisocial. It's a sign of self-care. You got to set boundaries. I had a great conversation with a colleague of mine recently. We were talking. I was talking to my friend Chelsea Macaron. She is a therapist, a holistic therapist based down in Florida, and she said something great. She said, setting boundaries. It's not about pushing people away. It's just about protecting yourself. So when you set a boundary, you're not pushing people away. You are protecting your space physically and mentally. There's also a book. If you're watching right now, you'll be able to see it, but I'll show it to you if you're watching it. If you're listening, just listen carefully here. There's a book that I have here. It's written by my friend Judy Hu. She's a boundary coach. Go check out this book. It's available on Amazon. Just type in Judy Hu, Judy space HU, boundary coach. She has this book called The Boundary Revolution, and it's all about decolonizing your relationships and discovering a new path to joy. And I just want to quickly read the back here because I think it's really important for people to understand something about boundaries, right? It says, navigating relationships. Now, when we say relationships, we're not just talking like romantic relationships. We're talking friendships, family, coworkers, whatever it may be. Navigating relationships in today's complex world can be overwhelming. The constant demands from maintaining boundaries to managing expectations or safety can leave you feeling drained and disconnected. It's all too easy to be triggered into self-doubt and anxious spirals, longing for a sense of confidence and harmony. Thankfully, there is a way to break free from this cycle. Welcome to the Boundary Revolution. In this transformative guide, Judy Hu, a licensed mental health counselor and boundary coach, draws her extensive expertise to offer you an enlightening framework for cultivating healthier relationships and managing anxiety. By embarking on this journey, you'll discover the keys to unlocking fulfilling connections and reclaiming your inner peace. In this book, Who empowers you to, number one, liberate yourself from the grip of your inner critic and regain self-assurance. Number two, navigate conflicts and set clear boundaries that honor your needs and values. Number three, understand how your own past experiences shape your present relationships. Number four, implement practical strategies to heal emotional wounds and break generational patterns. Number five, embrace imperfection and find contentment in being an authentic and imperfect human. Discover groundbreaking insights and practical strategies that set the boundary revolution apart, making it a must-read among books that she has written and others I've written as well. It's time to transform chaos into calm and create a life of joy and authenticity. Join the movement and start your journey today. This is The Boundary Revolution by my friend Judy Hu, Boundary Coach. Definitely go check that out. Put it in your Google searches. I'll even include a link to it in the description of this podcast episode because I enjoyed reading it. I think that you would get a lot out of it as well. Now, back to the introversion side of things. Introverts, if you embrace your introversion, you enjoy the joy of choice. I can't emphasize this enough. Introverts enjoy social interactions on their terms, on our terms, right? We can enjoy a party, we can enjoy a concert, we can enjoy public speaking, but it's all about choosing situations that align with our energy levels and preferences. The joy of choice. Introversion. If you can't do it unless you embrace your introversion. If you're like skirting on the edge, then you're not really fully embracing your introversion. That's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of the term ambivert. I'll be honest with you. I know like a lot of people have, thrown that term out there, and a lot of people identify as ambivert, which is perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong. I would never do that. But like me personally, I don't believe in the ambiversion. That's just me. I think that you are either an introvert or an extrovert. And I think that introverts you could be, I think the confusion comes from when introverts are in a social situation and they're, quote, behaving like extroverts. No, you're still an introvert. You're just an introvert in a social situation. Introverts can be in social situations too. When you say that you're an ambivert, that's you saying, in my opinion, that you're an introvert doing extroverted things. Like what? Talking to people? No, that's not. Talking to people doesn't make you extroverted. Hanging out with people doesn't make you extroverted. You can still be an introvert and do those things. That's one of the reasons why I personally don't believe in the word ambivert, but that's just me. It's a hot take, right? I'm doing everything I can to shatter this introversion stereotype, right? I use my platforms to really address how society often portrays introverts as these awkward people, these reclusive people. And I think that stereotype can be really harmful, right? Because a lot of people think, okay, I'm an introvert, I can't do things. No, you can. Introverts, we can thrive in leadership roles. I'm a leader at my job. I was an executive director at my previous job, and I was a manager at the job before that. Introverts can thrive in leadership roles. Most of the actors and actresses and performers and musicians that stand-up comedians, a lot of them are introverts. They are, because they prefer to recharge their battery alone or in a small, intimate group. Yeah, they're standing in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Sure. But I see my categories again. but at the end of the day, when they need to recharge their battery, they prefer to recharge their battery alone. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's my cat Burr. Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to say? No, you know better. Thank you. He's not allowed on the table. Maybe did you see it? My cats are very well behaved, as you can see. If you were watching just now, you seen my cat was about to hop on this table, and he knows better. He knows he's not supposed to do that. My cats are well behaved. I love them. I love them. Okay, listen, some practical takeaways for the listeners. I'm gonna wrap this up because my cat is begging for my attention right now. So I'm gonna wrap this up so I can give it some cuddles and give him some cuddles before I go fly out to Florida for the week. Let's wrap this up. Some practical takeaways for anybody that's watching or listening right now. Number one, understand that it's okay for introverts to embrace their energy preferences without guilt or shame. Don't be ashamed of embracing your introversion. I tell people that all the time. Don't be ashamed of embracing your introversion. Embrace that shit, right? Number two, if you're an extrovert, listen closely. I want to remind you, extroverts, avoid judging introverted friends or colleagues based on these misconceptions that are out there. Okay? And introverts, don't just think that introversion is just this one-dimensional thing about shyness and social anxiety. You got to play a role in this too, in dispelling some of these misconceptions that are out there. We got to work together on this if we want people to embrace us like we're embracing introversion, right? Number three, you got to balance your social obligations with energy needs. Remember what I was talking about before, the joy of choice. Introverts have the joy of choice, right? Choose how you want to spend your energy. You have that choice. Make that choice and do what you feel is best for your mental health, for your introversion, for your happiness. Do that. You're going to feel better. Dang it. Right? At the end of the day, whether you're an introvert, extrovert, right? Just respect both your energy preferences and the energy preferences of the people around you. Just be kind. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Right? Right? Listen, both introversion and extroversion, they're both valid ways of experiencing the world. And embracing these differences can lead to a healthier, more fulfilling life, a healthier, more fulfilling relationships in your life, so on and so forth. So whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, doesn't matter. Respect your energy preference, respect others, and I promise you, everything is going to be A-okay.
And that's a wrap on this week's episode of the Vibe with Kai podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found a little bit of comfort in today's episode, and I hope that you're walking away with a little bit of encouragement, and I hope that you laughed a little bit along the way. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a review. Let me know what you thought of the episode. I really want to hear your voice. I want to hear your story. I want to hear all about your journey. Let's keep the conversation going. Make sure you follow me on all of your favorite social media platforms. Follow me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it may be, at The Vibe with Kai for more tips, more laughs, and more real talk. Remember, my friends, you are not alone on this journey. We are in this together. And until next time, stay kind to yourself, embrace the journey, and keep vibing. I'll catch you next time. Much love. Good vibes.